with the exception of your CMS in your website tab, you can click on your Lofty Home button and that will bring you right back to this page here. People tab, transactions, calendar, listings, marketing, all of those, no matter where you are, you can click on your Lofty Home button and it will bring you back, again, with the exception of your website tab. This actually opens a brand new tab for you. And no matter how many times you click here, this will not bring you back to that original tab. You just need to keep that in mind. Now, as we're looking at the top, we saw the home button. You have your people tab, and this includes segments, which we'll touch on in just a moment. You have your transactions, calendar, which we just saw, listings, marketing tab. This is going to be your fun tab. This is going to have a ton of opportunities for you to let your creative juices flow. You can create smart plans here, landing pages. You will have the design studio, social design center, social studio, open house forms. So I'll show you a couple of those as we get to the tail end of today's session. But this is a lot of fun once you get into there. You have your reporting tab, and as I mentioned, your website. Marketplace will only be relevant to those of you who are paying for your individual CRM. So for instance, if you reached out on your own to Lofty and purchased your CRM, then you would be able to go into the marketplace. If you wanted to update something, maybe you wanted to add the dialer or you wanted to add the AI assistant, whatever you wanted to do, you could do that on your own. If your CRM is being provided to you by your broker, that will be something you'll want to reach out maybe to your admin or to your broker and ask if you can add something to that. Of course, it's coming out of their pocket. Settings, we'll spend some time in here because we need to make sure that everybody is set up appropriately. To the right, we have our search icon, which is the magnifying glass. You have your inbox icon here. Just to the right of that, you'll have the little bell, which is your notification icon. Your help icon, question mark in a circle, which we will look at a tail end today, and your picture or avatar at the top right. Now, let's go into the settings section. And here in the settings, this is where you are going to have everything that is about you, specific to your profile. That includes your picture, first and last name, your broker's address, phone number, email, all that good stuff. So we'll start here. You can upload your photo. Maybe smile a little bit more than this. You have your first and last name. Something I will say, just as a matter of best practice, is if your admin is setting this up for you, so most of the time they'll get your name right, but every now and then an email or a phone number can be entered in incorrectly. And it could be something as simple as maybe the numbers were transposed. Perhaps there was a hyphen that should have been an underscore, a missed period, whatever the case may be. Just go back in and double check, make sure that is correct, because you will be able to send out a ton of emails through your CRM to the folks in your database. And if they respond, you'll never see it because this email is not yours or it does not exist or it belongs to somebody else. So just make sure that's correct. Same thing with your phone number. For you agents, license ID and position will not be terribly relevant, but what will be incredibly relevant is your MLS agent ID. Please make sure that this is set up as soon as possible. If you do have any questions about your profile setup or your MLS agent ID setup, just to the right, you will see this hyperlink that asks if you need help. Click there. That will take you to an article that will walk you through the entire process. Now, make sure that your brokerage name and address are correct. Once completed, you can click Save. Here in the email signature, you can go ahead and update this. Just make sure your name, phone number, address, email address, and your photo that you select are up to date. If you need to update that, click Edit. Once completed, you'll be all set. And this is what folks will see when you do send an email out to them. To answer your question, Patty, with the task, yes, when you do complete the task, you can put notes in that task. You can postpone that task, meaning you can put it out for a specified period of time. The task will generally be part of either a smart plan that will have a succession of steps, or it can be an individual one-off task that you've created. So, for instance, if you create a task as a reminder to reach out to a client who asked you to take them off to ask you to opt them out of the phone call option. So you can call, you can text, and you can email. And maybe this week they said, hey, this week is going to be incredibly busy for me. It's going to be tough for me to take calls or even return calls. Opt me out of that for this week. Let's go ahead and just text and email each other. And by the end of the week, I should have a better idea of how next week is going. You can set yourself a task to reach back out to that client, maybe on Friday or Saturday. Just send them a quick text, say, hey, Dave, just wanted to make sure, see how everything was going, make sure that we're able to communicate by phone this coming week. And they'll reply back to you and say, yeah, go ahead and put me back on. So you can do that. And I'll show you how to do that as we move forward. Off to the side now, we have features. So if you look over on the left-hand banner under features and then go 5 down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you should come to integrations. Now, it is incredibly important that you do get these set up sooner rather than later. If you haven't done so, please do this today. Reason for that is you want to make sure that your business email, and I emphasize business email, business calendar, business third party apps, and especially your business social media channels. Reason for that, and I'll explain that to you in just a little bit once we get to that point as far as the social media channels are concerned. But with your email and with your calendar, you want to make sure that those are business, not personal, because you want that linked specifically to your CRM. Do not want your personal email linked to your CRM. And the reason for that is because you don't want to commingle those two things. Number one, you not only want to make sure that these are set up properly, but you also want to make sure that anything that you do as far as activity or communication is concerned, do it through your CRM. So if you haven't downloaded the Lofty mobile app, I'll show you how to do that towards the end today. For those of you using Apple products, you have a QR code for your iOS. And for those using Android products, you will have a QR code for Android phones. Now, to connect something here, so for instance, if I wanted to enter or connect my Google Calendar to my CRM, I could just locate that platform, come over here to the right, click connect. That will bring up my login page. I will enter my credentials. It'll walk me through the process, at which point, once completed, it will show as disconnect as opposed to connect. As you can see, we do have additional options such as Calendly, Slide Broadcast, Brokerman. We're pretty excited because we recently added DocuSign. We had been asked to please add this for as long as I can remember. And I've been here a while. So we finally were able to get that done. So for those of you who do have a DocuSign account, you now are able to link that to your Lofty CRM. So any documents that are signed by your clients via DocuSign will now be saved in their lead profile page. And I'll show you that when we get to that point. We also have some additional integrations such as Zapier, MailChimp, Grammarly. If you are a stickler for grammar like I am, please do yourself a favor and download the free Grammarly app. I have looked at the pay for option, and it does give you some additional tools to work with, but I promise you the free option will get the job done. If you do have a third-party app or another integration, perhaps that you are using at present, and you do not see it here, reach out to our support team and see if that's something that we can get added. That way you can use that as well. All right. Now let's go ahead and scroll down just to the bottom here, and you'll see templates, email, smart plans, call, and text. Smart plans, you don't have to worry about that just yet. But for today's purposes, make sure that today or at some point in the next couple of days, make sure that your email templates, call templates, and text templates are all set up. Now, if you're not on the dialer, you may think, why do I need to set up a template? Just because you're not using the dialer doesn't mean that you may not be able to use this as a template when you are making calls directly from your landline or your cell phone. So just something to keep in mind. But I would certainly recommend using the Lofty Dialer. And the reason for that is because using the Lofty Dialer through the mobile CRM, you can have all of these phone calls recorded, whether they're outgoing or incoming. All of your text messages will also be saved. So if you have to go back to a call, maybe it was a call from last week, you jotted down some pretty good notes, but there was something that you missed and you need to go back. If you don't make the call through the CRM when you're using the dialer, that call will not be saved. It will not be logged unless you did it manually, and you'll have to try and remember what it was that you talked about or what you may have missed. So again, if you are using the dialer, please make sure that every phone call you make to a lead or to a client is done directly through the CRM, through your app. Same thing with your text messages, same thing with your emails. And they're very simple to set up. Just create a folder for that, name it whatever you wish. For automated emails, these are going to be ones that will go out as a welcome email. So, for instance, if you are conducting an open house and you have folks that are coming through, they'll scan the QR code on your open house form. They'll complete the questionnaire that you have set for them. Once completed, they click submit. You will then have a brand new lead saved to your CRM. You'll get a notification of that as well. And they will automatically receive either an email, a welcome email, or a welcome text. So you definitely want to make sure that these are set up. And you can also take a look at the template report. It gives you an idea of what's going on with those emails that have been sent out. All right, let's head out.